I've told you by next year or the other year, most of these media houses and outlets like this one will be in serious trouble. I'll be coming here, and when I get out, I must pass through the fence.
Kwa Subaru.
Yeah. When we talk about it, people think that we hate him. We don't hate him. We hate the lies that it spews out of his mouth. When I gave you a chance to be the President of the Republic of Kenya, you betrayed my confidence. And you made your community become people who are isolated.
It is such a distinct privilege to have you on Richard Mwenja Exclusive, the only point of call on matters political, economic and governance analysis here in Kenya and across the region. I'm Richard Mwenja, welcome to the conversation. We are still here unpacking conversations that are of much importance to you as a citizen of Kenya. And I have your favorite think tank, Charangani's biggest export, former Minister Kipruto Arap Kirwa.
Yeah,
You're well?
Very well, although I have a bit of flu, but it's okay.
I can tell you're slightly under the weather.
Yeah.
You seem to be winding up the year on a low.
No, but it will clear up just before Sunday. I'll be up and running. Yeah.
This is our final show for the year. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Weekly out here to dispense civic educations.
Yeah.
Are you proud of the progress we've made this far?
Indeed, I'm more proud of the impact that it has created in our society. Anywhere I go, people tell me, okay, I saw you with a young man. So I take it with a pinch of salt, because why are they emphasizing the fact that you are younger than me when it's obvious? Yeah, so, but I've enjoyed and I'm happy that we're able to make a difference in our society, because society always needs replenishing with nuggets of wisdom, fresh thinking, and also strategic approach to many of the issues afflicting our society. Yeah.
I bumped into a member of parliament allied to the Kenya Kwanza administration, and he said, go and talk to Mheshimiwa Kirwa. He seems to be a career critic of our president. Is that so?
Well, I'm not a career critic. It happens that the current regime has given us a lot of fodder. At times it's so hard for people to know what is happening in government unless it comes out as an audit query. But this regime, because of the lies they have been making, you can easily see what is going wrong. And that's why we spend a bit of time with the hope that in so doing, we'll allow them to correct their own mistakes. Because we are not doing it with just to make them look bad. We are doing it because we want them to improve on areas that need a bit of improvement. For example, when they told us at the beginning of the year the dollar was going to come down or perhaps up to 120, of course, we believed the story. But the dollar, of course, went up to 162, although now it's about 129. But it is not where President Uhuru Kenyatta left. We were told that the fuel prices will come down, and they have not come down to where President Uhuru Kenyatta left.
Okay.
And yet they did what they were calling G to G, or government to government, but which we interpreted as gangster to gangster, because there was no government on the other side. And therefore, there's no evidence of that particular deal. It has come out in audit that yes, there was a deal, but that deal was not in favor of us. It was in favor of some middlemen who were involved in that business. When they brought poisoned oil, edible oil, that was laced with poison, later on it disappeared. We don't know which institution they went. We kept quiet. When they brought a lot of other problems about fake fertilizer, we kept quiet. When they brought other issues...
health reforms underway?
Well, health reforms, we said from the beginning, it was a disaster. And you see the medics are already talking about this new outfit. Because, you know, Richard, in the traditional way of transiting institutions, when there is an institution that we feel perhaps is burdened with encumbrances that will not allow it to work efficiently, you don't change the name. what you do is you change the structure, you change the thinking, you improve the paradigm within the organization, and there is a possibility. Now, they give us a new name. They don't improve on the all the habits, and I'm happy. They seem to want to transit the same people in NHIF, to the new institution. But I hope as they transit, they should be retrained. For those who can be retrained, they should also be reoriented to new thinking. But perhaps the people that should not be left behind are the junior officers who are not involved in corruption. You know, corruption does not take place in the street.
It's the big sharks?
It's the big boys who get involved. And the big boys have bigger boys above them. And that's why they get corrupt.
So when we are trying to change NHIF to SHIF and also put it under SHA, all this you believe is deliberate attempt at making knee-jerk reactions and populist moves?
Populist moves, and of course at times, you know, dictators all over the world. And this is something that I want you as a young scholar to read. All dictators, they fashion new things just because they want to look different.
Not because they believe in it.
Not because they believe in it. They believe that they want them to be hero worshipped. You know, let me tell you.
Sure.
Why at times I get annoyed with the current president is the fact that when he took over the Ministry of Agriculture, he brought all the 100 and something vehicles that previously I had bought in 2007, cleaned them and relaunched to look like he has come to town and many things are being relaunched. Kirwa never did this. He lied to the public, and I want him to challenge me. Top dressing fertilizer was retailing at 1,400.
By the time you were leaving the ministry?
When I was leaving the ministry, the normal fertilizer for application, DAP, was retailing at 1,800. He came back, he said the fertilizer has been at 6,000. Now, with subsidy, and he took it back all the way to Mosbridge because he just wanted to make sure that he's talking at me, just across in Cherangani.
In your backyard? In
my backyard. And the other day when we were interviewing him for the presidency as our candidate as UDA, when I was still in UDA, he had the audacity to lie in front of me that he brought down the fertilizer prices from 6,000 to 2,500.
Short memory for people who lie?
No, you know, at times you lie until you believe the lie yourself. And he wants us to believe the lies he's giving us, and he says we should be criticizing with facts. That's why I've given him those facts. The top dressing fertilizer was 1,400. He pretended he has brought from 1,800 to 1,400. And the other one from 6,000. Under the National Cereals and Produce Board, no fertilizer during the year 2007, my last term as minister, was sold above 1,800. And I've told people, bring the receipts. But because he lied and he used the Cass FM to just continue lying, just to vilify me, and yet I had even lost my seat in Cherangani. So when we talk about it, people think that we hate him. We don't hate him, we hate the lies that it spews out of his mouth.
Was it
relentlessly?
Relentlessly lying?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Eileen Akal, and I'm the head of training at Center for Innovative Technology Limited, Scitech. If you finish your Form 4 and you would like to enter into an engineering field, architectural field, or any related field, please come to Scitech. We will train you how to be industry ready. We will also train you how to make engineering drawings. We will train you how to draw using the software.
I did my degree in China for 4 years. After I finish my degree, I come back to my country, Kenya. But the knowledge I find in Scitech, it's much better than the 4 years I spent in China.
We can empower a lot of young people in Kenya to gain gainful employment. And I want to speak to parents out there. If you have a child who's just done fourth form, between the time they do their exams and the time they enter tertiary education, there are so many months there they waste. Bring them here. In those short months, they will gain skills that they can use to advance their careers, to start their own even private companies, They can find work online, and when they go to university, they'll be so way ahead of their peers.
Welcome to Scitech.
I want to understand then, what kind of intervention can the president on board just so now to earn the trust of Kenyans, that when he speaks, people can bank his word?
Well, they say the taste of pudding is in the eating. He should walk the talk. Yeah.
And now, seemingly, he's walking the talk, especially on the front of the fight on graft. Look, his close allies, we're talking about Deputy Speaker in the National Assembly, Gladys Bosholei, former Governor Alex Tolgos, among others, now have been recommended by EACC for prosecution over graft claims. The president now is seeing his men implicated in graft. Don't you think by even allowing EACC to get that level of recommending their prosecution, he already has given the blessings of EACC to fight graft?
You know, when your clothes are dirty, you put them in a bag, then you take them to the laundry. This could be another laundry session to clean them, because those cases have been hanging for the last 10 years. Perhaps he wants to do laundry for them so that they come out clean. And when he leaves office in the next 2.5 years, his allies will be clean, because he doesn't know what the next regime is going to do against them. So this could be laundry in the making.
In the fullness of time, you foresee acquittals being made on
those
implicated?
I'm telling you, Tolgos may be the unfortunate one because he's not on his corner. Tolgos was with us in Asimio. But Bosholei...
she won't head to prison anytime soon? Should she be found guilty?
Well, I wish her well, but I don't see her going beyond just taken to court and saying there is not sufficient evidence to do the prosecution to the end, to continue with the case. I'm a layman, I don't know the law, and I've not really read the substance of that case, but this is another laundry exercise.
Waziri, seem to pass the impression that when it comes to Ruto's administrations and how he's handling the nation this far, that his is a sinking ship. Is that what rubber stamps the thought that Kenyans believe now that his is a sinking ship, President Ruto has high chances, or they believe he'll steal the 2027 elections? Look, at a report that has been done, a survey done by Infotrack Research Firm has shown that at least 33% of the respondents involved believe the president will rig 2027 polls because this far the damage is irredeemable. Do you share the same views as those who were on that research as respondents?
You know, rigging has certain limits. Limits in terms of intelligence, limits in terms of the magnitude of the votes. In 2002, we came together as LDP and NAK to form National Rainbow Coalition because we believed that the presidential candidate of KANU, Uhuru Kenyatta at that time, would perhaps get about 30%, which it came to pass. I think he got about that 30%. And the LDP wing might get also another 30%. And NAK wing may get another 30%. Cumulatively, because of course there was also Simon Nyachai. So we realized, and I've said this before, in Omino's house, at about 3 o'clock, we called in Raila, 3 o'clock in the morning. We had been discussing overnight, then we called Raila. Raila came and said, you guys might win, we might win. But because it is simple majority, the project might squeak through because there might be some rigging here. So let's come together and form a strong coalition that nobody will steal enough. And it came to pass. Kibaki got about 67% of all the votes cast. This therefore meant even if it was this current constitution where you have to get 50% plus 1, he overqualified. But the old constitution, Moi twice had used that constitution to squeak through with about 34% of all the votes cast. So rigging, even if he was to attempt, he will not get to 40%. I've told you.
A mere 40%, he won't attain that easily?
He will not. He will be starting with 37. But when the other team has about 60-something%, how will he rig? How will he rig? You cannot rig more than 1 million votes. unless you can rig within 200,000, 100,000, but 1,000,000 votes, you will rig, and when they are counted, by the time they finish, before even you finish rigging, the results will have come out that you have lost before you begin counting.
But the Kenyans who, from the research by Infotrack, a research firm, it shows that at least 70% of respondents believe that they have zero confidence in the IEBC. So now that we're talking about the will of the people manifest in the fullness of time after they've cast their votes, what can we do as a country to make sure that we have an IEBC in place that people can trust, that if I go to vote, what I'll vote will translate to the actual tally at the end of the day?
Well, it is work in progress. Trust, once it's lost, it takes a bit of time to regain it. So I have a feeling that where the truth lies is for us to protect the votes. To cast the votes and protect almost in every polling station.
By physically remaining there until the last vote is counted?
We should have good agents, and we should have candidates in all the electoral areas, so that those candidates will protect the presidential vote, we will protect the MP's votes, will protect other positions, senator, women rep, governor, all the way to the president. And that's the only way we can win the next election. We have to protect all the votes. Remember, even in the last election, Raila performed well. William performed better. Why? He protected the votes. Raila's votes were not protected in some areas, because we got that feedback that some areas Raila gets about 10 votes in a polling station, they are wished away. Now, how many polling stations do we have in the whole country? Almost 400,000 polling stations. Now, times 10, a lot of votes. Remember, in a place like Trans Nzoia, I think we have about 400. So if in every polling station you lose 10 votes, you will be losing 400 times 10, about 4,000 votes. In 10 counties alone, you will have lost more votes than the difference between Raila and William Ruto in the last general election.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Raila's votes were not protected. People spend more time thinking on how to be part of government. Instead of first winning the position, then you talk about being part of the next arrangement. Yeah.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has come forward with revelations that when it comes to matters to do with Mount Kenya politics, they never fought on betrayal. And he believes that the people of Mountain are raged up because they were betrayed by President William Ruto. Now, let me ask this. Even after onboarding Raila Odinga on his side, somewhat going into a backwater handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, because some speculate it's in the offing. Don't you think that is quite substantial on the side of Ruto to make him at least attain, if not half, a quarter of the votes from Mount Kenya to top up on that which he'll get from other areas in this country?
The literacy in Kenya is very high, and more so around the mountain. So every person will be voting for the candidates of their choice. And therefore, I don't see William Ruto getting the reverse of what he got in the last election. That is, getting even 10%. The mountain has moved and has shifted. And it's not the mountain alone. Remember in the year 1992, the main candidate that we feared was Kibaki, we in Kanu. Yes, eventually Kibaki was number 3. But the person who came and overtook everybody was Kenneth Matiba. And I was campaigning in Kanu. And I had some Kikuyu friends who were with me, including my brother-in-law. One of them, called Ngugi, came to Nairobi. When he came back, he ran away from my campaign team, because the word on Christmas Day is that nothing to do with Kanu. So the guy could not be in my entourage. And yet these phones, these mobile phones, they were not there. But the word went through
so quick,
so fast, that by 29th, Matiba came close to threatening Moi's hold on power. He got, I think, about 1.35, Kibaki got 1 million and something. The late Jaramogi got about 1 million. President Moi got 1.9. So you see, if the opposition was united, President Moi would have lost in the 1992 general elections. But because we were divided, and this is something I'm cautioning opposition, let us not have more than one presidential candidate. This is the only way you can deal a devastating blow to William Ruto.
Just get one person and
One person, not
him
me.
or her, yeah.
Yeah, get one person. The rest of the opposition will share.
Why don't you want to endorse yourself to be
No.
that one person? You don't believe you have the wherewithal and gravitas to hit the ground running?
Well, William has messed our name. I get worried. Because you remember this story of this professor wanting a telephone conversation with a lady. Then the lady, "Hey, you look like you come from Rift Valley." Said, how did you know? He said, "I know from your voice. Nyinyi ni waongo." So the boy went and called, "William, what has happened? Have you gone somewhere this morning? Because I wanted to kuza mlima, lakini ameniambia sisi ni waongo."
So also you are suffering collateral damage.
Yes, indeed.
All thanks to the culture of lies and falsehood that you believe the president is churning out.
He, as an individual, he has done a lot to destroy our reputation. Really, that's where I get worried.
What can you do to save face now?
I don't know to
In the intervening period before 2027?
No, we can just pray for him.
Divine intervention?
Yeah, divine intervention. Otherwise, any other arrangement from a human being is not possible.
Why are you recommending that this country be turned into a theocrat?
Why? No theocracy. No, we just pray for him, the individual, to repent his bad ways and come to terms with the reality that one day we shall go before the Lord, the Almighty, not the one of Karen, the Almighty God, that you, when I gave you a chance to be the President of the Republic of Kenya, you betrayed my confidence and you made your community become people who are isolated. So it is not we who are calling out on him. It is he who is making our people get isolated. This national unity is now talking about. He wants unity about himself, not unity of Kenyans, because he knows Kenyans are united and they are unanimous that they don't want him in the next election.
The writing is on the wall?
On the wall, I don't know. But I know he gets some of these clips, the Kasongos and the other clips.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I want to understand this. Rigathi Gachagua is still on this path of revealing the can of worms domiciled in the government of the day. Most recent saying the SHIF and SHA health care system is nothing but twin scandal. Besides that, he's talking about state capture being peddled by the government of the day. Yeah. And I want to understand, for Rigathi Gachagua, whom you sort of nowadays associate with its ideologies or stand politically and in the governance front, do you think he's taking the pity party too far by trying to stay in the name of President Ruto, even though maybe some of what is revealing is truth? Should he stop the pity party or at least opening the Pandora's box?
If there's something Rigathi Gachagua's statements have assisted us, is one.
Which is?
We now understand the difference between the president and his deputy, how it is generated. Because, as we've said before, the presidency is the president and those around him. And when those around him are wheeler dealers, then they want everybody else to be a wheeler dealer. And if you are not a wheeler dealer, see no evil, hear no evil, smell no evil. So Rigathi Gachagua is assisting us to understand why is it that governors and their deputies are not sitting pretty. So it has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with deals. And that is something that we are happy Rigathi Gachagua has been able to demonstrate and give us that information that nobody else will. Remember, even in the last regime, Ruto, in the first term, they were buddies, best of buddies. Second term, things started developing. So now when you look back, it must have been something to do with deals, either done by the team around the president or the deputy president trying to partake on elders' food only to be told that this is not for you. This is meant for the big guy. So this is what we are seeing. And of course, students of history will be able to give us full analysis in the fullness of time.
You're talking about students of history, but also students from the Kalenjin community will tell you that there is a proverb which says there is little truth domiciled in a statement from a bereaving widow or widower. And Rigathi Gachagua seems to be on that path of natural mourning and is yet to come out of it. Don't you think that he could be saying all things out of emotional turmoil?
But usually, at the hour of bitterness, and when somebody is not happy, when somebody is drunk, when somebody is too happy, that is when you get the truth. So whether she is weeping or whether is bitter, what I'm interested in is the truth. And for the Kalenjins, you know, the saying is slightly different. You say when somebody is mourning, refuse to want to pick fault with him, because the level of bitterness has unbottled some of the compartments that were usually able to be closed. And therefore, he's telling you the truth as is. That is exactly what happens. Of course, you know, even a mother will say, oh, the best child has died, and he has another 7 children is still alive. Whatever she says, she means it. Perhaps at that moment, because she's a mother of 8, at that particular moment, says this one should not have gone now. But she does not have the alternative who should go. So when they say, oh, my best child has died, there are many ways to look at that statement. So Rigathi is telling us as is. Because I've never been a deputy president. I've never been a deputy governor. I've been an assistant minister. So at times you can almost know the unfairness that goes between the minister and the assistant minister. And that's why when I was a minister, later on, I treated to the best of my capacity my assistant ministers.
We are at a time whereby a section of Kenyans feel that the sitting president and his administration have emasculated the power of the legislature, the executive, and also the judiciary to work in the best interest of the taxpayers, of Kenyans at large. And I want to understand, let's single out the parliament of today. You've served as a member of parliament for 20 years in this country. And we're at a time whereby people believe the biggest present worship political orchestra is stemming from the parliament of today, from our MPs, who won't be quick to tell the king that you are naked, even on matters of national concern. To what do you owe this cheerleading from the parliament of the day, even in the face of adversity being committed by the government of today?
You know what has happened, and this is something that is worrying. Political parties and the leaders of political parties have acquired a higher pedestal more than other institutions, such that some people cannot speak the truth because they fear the wrath from the leadership of the day. That's why today, because Raila is working with the current president, ODM members cannot say anything. Why? In the last general election, they were given tickets direct, and they fear if we play around, the next tickets will be given to other people other than ourselves. Likewise, in UDA-dominated areas, there were better candidates in some constituencies, but because of the euphoric undertaking the president had achieved at that time, most of the UDA candidates won without strong base supporting them. That's why today, because some areas have shifted away from the current president, almost 3/4 of members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region will not come back.
They won't be re-elected?
They will not be re-elected.
Even those who are the most vocal out here, not really on legislation matters, but on the ground, whether through populism attempts, even those most vocal, they won't be re-elected?
Well, time will tell, but my own projection is that they will struggle to come back because They do not have credentials of their own. They came on the party ticket.
They don't have an address of their own?
They don't have, a bearing that can be respected, that is this so-and-so's address. Now, the second issue is that the current president has achieved certain amount of fear that he can instill on the sitting members of parliament and other leaders.
Invoking fear?
He has invoked a lot of fear. He has invoked a lot of threats, and they know he does not just threaten. He can go for somebody.
At whatever cost?
At whatever cost. They know that. Now, the current president again has refused to allow institutions to operate. That's why Judiciary can sit on Saturday to deal with the impeachment of the deputy president. That's why Parliament can do gazette notices, one from National Assembly, the other one from the Senate, at night when the printers must have closed. That's why the executive itself, the president calls ministers and does a rundown on them, telling them, I know more than you do in your own ministry. That's why there is what we call a layer of advisors that surrounds the president to tell him this ministry is operating below capacity without they themselves being involved in day-to-day running of the ministry. All this is emasculation of institutions to allow for one-man show, what we call in normal English dictatorship. That's what's happening. And there is nothing we can do. That's why even commissions like IBC have not been formed. There are many constituencies without MPs. There are many electoral wards without the MCS. And even the nominated member of parliament that resigned to become minister, that slot has not been filled because there is no IBC. That's why even up to now, I believe Professor Kithure Kindiki, his position as deputy president is still in question because the foundation that the president made reference to, called IBC, does not exist, because IBC is not just the officers. It is the commission with its own chair, who should be an advocate of the High Court, qualified to have the position of a judge. And that person is not there. So which IBC did he consult? These are basic things. And because he has chosen to tell us, we be telling him the truth. Let him tell us which IBC did he consult to say Kithure Kindiki is a member of UDA, he has ID, he has these credentials, he was in Lenana school, didn't pass, he went to another school in Meru, he passed, he went to university, and got several degrees. Which IBC informed him about that?
Let's shift gears and talk a bit about the second arm of government, and we're talking about the judiciary.
Yeah.
Being at a time whereby Kenyans believe that the judiciary is somewhat doing the state's bidding, even when it comes to ruling on matters of national interest, contentious bills in this country.
Yeah.
Are we treading on a dangerous ground when even the judiciary is being handled with contempt from Kenyans?
No, it is because that's Kenyans are reacting to a reality. And I've told you, if we are not careful, you saw the president brought most of the artists to act for him during
Jamhuri Day.
What he's trying to do, he has realized this is a source of trouble. He wants to tame them, those who can be tamed. And some of them may be abducted and dealt with the way other Kenyans have been dealt with. Now, that is another front that is now fighting. The next front is the media. I've told you by next year or the other year, most of these media houses and outlets like this one will be in serious trouble. I'll be coming here, and when I get out, I must pass through the fence.
Amuneko kwa Subaru.
Yeah, but I'm too big for Subaru. It will collapse.
Very lastly, you've served as a cabinet minister in this country and sat right at the center of the executive at some point. And we are looking at our state officers. We're talking about cabinet ministers in this case. And they came in, profiled as experts, and even those whom they found there, we believe they are true professionals.
Yes.
But when you find that instead of clearly communicating government agenda, theirs is much of defending government agenda rather than explaining it to the masses and probably telling the president, hey, here's the feedback from the masses, we can tweak this policy in this or that way. Why would the executive be turned into a president worship orchestra?
Just simply because I've told you, President William Ruto is a micromanager. And all dictators are micromanagers. And the danger with them is that they become dictators, and there are those who dictate to them what should be done. And these are the so-called advisors he surrounds himself with.
Council of Advisors.
A council of advisors. Because how would you say, if this health insurance fund was supposed to gobble away 104 billion shillings, when the old system of NHIF could have been upgraded with about 700 million shillings? Where is 103 billion, or where was it going to go? I'm told, of course, they are scaling it down. But why did you think about 104 billion, and yet you could have scaled it down, upgraded the system that we had with just a mere 700 million? These are some of the issues that we feel the current president needs to be assisted. How can he talk of Crimea? What do you call it?
Grammy Awards.
Grammy Awards. You've realized the institution has said, we don't receive money from foreign governments.
True.
And they will not be here next year. They are acting somewhere else.
Was that too low from our government?
It is too low. That's why we have to give him facts. And of course, you see, Itumbi was telling us, we are paying 500 million. Then the president told him, no, we have already paid. To who? You know, like when I'm here, then you say, okay, Mheshimiwa has said he will give somebody 500 shillings. Then I say, I've already given. And you don't know who.
It leaves an egg on your face.
It is unfortunate.
Is this what is widening the trust deficit people are leveling against the president? Such things?
Such things and many others. Because at times he lies.
You've seen the president now give direction that when it comes to devolution, he wants to really give it, rather leave the full spirit of devolution by directing the national government to let go the duties, the functions of devolved units that were still holding back. So starting the next financial year, all duties that will be partaken by devolved units will now be fully under them. Do you applaud the president for making that directive at this time?
Well, I do appreciate. It's a good decision. But you see, as is always the case, a transition must be seamless. So they should spend the rest of the year, early next year, by training how to transit such that there should be minimum damage and minimum loss of property. Because what does it mean? We are taking some officers from Nairobi to the ground, various counties, and a bit of resources may be lost in between. And also inefficiency may increase. Because this is what happened earlier on in 1963. We had 7 regions, or about 8 regions, including Nairobi as a special province. That devolution was reversed. Within 5 years, it was all gone. But I'm happy this one is anchored in the Constitution. So my prayer is that, yes, we do appreciate, but can we do effective consultation so that we say, where are we maximizing? You will realize most of the issues that have not been fully devolved is where there is procurement. Because in procurement, there is money to be eaten.
There is money to be eaten.
And people like eating in Nairobi.
At the center of it.
At the center of it. Even those, you've seen many governors, they have come back to Nairobi to invest. Many of them, even former governors. So you see in that list, there were 2 former governors, the list that you refer to.
Waziri, You are heading home for Christmas, maybe in Cherangani constituency, and I'm going to Moist Bridge. But
Yeah.
you're walking into our homes, and Kenyans want us to come to their homes with messages of hope. That yes, we are amidst all this adversity as a country, so much turmoil or many other issues bedeviling us. But they want Waziri Kirot maybe to send a message of hope that 2025 could be better than today, or even if not 2025, 2026, 2027. What's your message to President Ruto and that Kenyan who is watching you today?
Well, to the president, lie less. Lie less. Because the more you lie, the more you are hated.
Why can't you tell him stop lying instead of saying lie less?
Because the guy is a habitual liar. And when somebody is a pathological liar, you cannot stop him. So lie less. Number two, we are happy he has been identified the way we have always known him. But the mistake I made even 3 years ago, going back to work with him, is because I thought he's now mature. He has interacted with many institutions, including getting to the level of deputy president. And for the first few months, we worked very well. Until I realized this guy will never stop lying. Then I walked away. Today I've been vindicated that he's a liar, micromanager, a dictator, short on temper. You realize the other day he was abusing his voters, that they are stupid. Yes, they could be stupid because they voted for him. He was saying they are evil. They could be evil because they voted evil into power. Saying, yes, they may be, was it Fepo Mbaya? Chafu. It was not Mbaya, Chafu. Yes, they could have that Fepo because he is the owner of exuding the power to influence society. So he has influenced us until we are also Pepo Chafu, kama yeye.
Are you also faceless anarchists? Because in June they were profiled as faceless anarchists.
Well, I don't know whether they were faceless or they were not able to decipher that this was anger emanating from inside. Finally,
It was said it was sponsored anger. By
sponsored by
organizations
who?
out here.
No, including foundation, was it Ford Foundation?
Sure.
Including talking about Uhuru Kenyatta. Then a few days he was taking a photo with Ford Foundation chairman. Then the other day he was in Ishaweri.
And mbuzis were delivered, by the way.
Oh, they were delivered. We
Yeah,
didn't see the mbusis. We actually, how many? 14?
12.
12, okay. And the ones which had been slaughtered. And you know, in fact, the worst of those is not even whatever was stolen. That's okay. You can steal and you go keep it. You know, some died because, you know, they are well fed. And when people were chasing them, they ran out of breath and they died. Such a painful thing. So mbusis, we never saw mbusis. They must have gone.
It has been reported in mainstream media.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. But anyway, that's okay. Uhuru does not like mbusis. He has enough of them. But it's okay. It's a sign of unisamehe. But what were you calling him the other day? So at times he also lies. When
Can't a prodigal son walk into the home of their father and be received by open arms?
Well, those are the days of the Bible. Today, you cannot abuse me. Then in the afternoon, you want me to forgive you without you making an apology in public. Where you abused me, go there. The way Rigathi did. Aliomba msamaha Uhuru. Akaomba msamaha Mama Ngina. Akaomba msamaha wale wote ambao labda wamewakosea. He should do the same.
He should do the same.
We'll forgive him.
Finally, you haven't spoken to Kenyans who are looking up to you and saying, Waziri, talk to us, even as we usher in the new year.
Kenya is better. Why? We have identified the culprit responsible for the demise of many institutions of government.
Is he a usual suspect that
Yes.
can point a figure at easily?
We have identified him.
Who is
The Kasongo.
Kasongo?
Yes. And nowadays, Kasongo is synonymous with our president. So we have identified him. The future is full of hope.
The future is full of hope.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. At that point, we wrap up our final conversation for the year here on Richard Mwenja Exclusive, and particularly on this edition where I host Mheshimiwa Ruto Kirwa Weekly. But how about we now give you the heroes segment that will crown our year. Mheshimiwa, who is our hero or heroine for the day?
Well, because you were in Ishaweri, I will remain there.
Oh, really?
In 1933, a young girl was born to a chief.
A bouncing one?
A young bouncing girl, 1933. She grew up and did better. She got married to a future president.
Really?
Yes. The age difference notwithstanding. And again...
Was that necessary? Let's keep on.
Yeah. And she was also double lucky.
Oh, why?
She gave birth to a president. Yeah. You know, to be born to a chief, married to a president, you give birth to a president, is an opportunity that not everybody has.
Now you're making me feel like a child of a lesser god.
No. Even the chief was an ordinary person. Even the president that became president later on after marrying this girl he was also an ordinary person. He was a carpenter here in Karen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a bouncing baby girl is born in 1933.
Yes. Then she goes ahead. She's able to take care of the family. She's able to take care of the president. And when the president goes to meet the makers, she was given the respect. And that's why I respect President Moi, to have respected the Kenyatta family, and particularly Mama Ngina Kenyatta. For the entire period, you could not mention anything negative about Kenyatta in front of President Moi. That's why Jaramogi, when he mentioned that Kenyatta was a land grabber, he was sacked the following day. The lady I'm talking about is Mama Ngina, the mother of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Mama Ngina Kenyatta?
Yes, the mother of Uhuru Kenyatta.
She's larger than life. She's an institution.
She is an institution. At the age of 91, she's still an institution within the institution of Kenya.
Do you see Kasongo ascending to those heights at 91 years?
I don't know. We just pray for Kasongo. Yeah, we pray for him. He's our son. And as an elder from that community, I will continue praying for him.
And also because he's a descendant of Samoei.
No, that's where you go wrong.
Oh, really?
No, the steer they are talking about is from another family. The Samoei, the legendary Koitalel Samoei, comes from a special clan whose totem is a lion. There's no other clan in Nandi with the totem of a lion. The one of William is just ordinary Kenyan.
Much as comparison is a thief of joy, when you look at Mama Ruto, and probably now we are talking about Mama Ngina Kenyatta, what is that one trait that you think Mama Ruto should borrow from Mama Ngina Kenyatta that will be of greater good to Kenyans?
Well, humility.
Humility?
Humility, more of silence, and making an opinion. You express your opinion when it's a must. But the other day, praying for water in the borehole to change, to be less salty. Those are no things that are supposed to be done by the level of the First Lady. Yeah.
But at least hosting emissaries of the clergy, that is okay.
Yes, but of course, those clergies must also be genuine people.
Really?
You know, when God comes
we could be having false prophets in town?
Oh, let me tell you. They say the last days, there shall be so many prophets. Some of them prophets of doom. That's why at times...
Can a prophet of doom make way into status?
Well, you never know. Haven't you known, even in the Bible, there are many individuals who are fake, but they ended up being around Jesus. And I think one was called, was it Judas or Simon?
Judas Iscariot.
Yeah. Yeah, that before the cock crow, Peter.
Peter.
You will have betrayed me. And it came to pass. So if around Jesus there were those people, State House is not holier than around Jesus. Around the feet of Jesus.
Our president could be surrounded by opportunists even as we speak, masquerading as advisors.
Anybody, and I want to advise you young people, that as you grow up, for every success ladder that you climb, remember, you are surrounded by more opportunities than yesterday. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for roping in Mama Ngina Kenyatta as our heroine for the day. We really thank her for the tremendous impact she's made to Kenya this far, and we pray that she has longevity of life.
Thank you. We pray for her.
Thank you so much for being with me since the start of the year. And today you not only came to studio by yourself, you also tagged along your grandson, I understand?
Yes.
Who is this gentleman?
He's called Glenn. Unaitwa nani? Glenn Girwa. Unajua marafiki zetu? Ya sawa. Tuende nyumbani. Haya.
Right.
Bye.
Asante sana. I'm seeing you are nurturing the future Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Supermarket.
Supermarket. Tupitie supermarket.
Yeah.
Haya sawa tuende.
Oh, what a time you're having with your grandchildren out here. Now I understand why you're aging gracefully. Because of the joy, the emanate that comes to your side, right?
Yes, and there is so much to learn from them. Yeah.
He could end up a future minister in this country.
We never know.
Sent to higher grounds.
That we never know. I pray for them.
You pray for them?
Yes.
Bado tuko hii town now.
Kabisa.
Okay, when you retire, I'll take care of him. Until we get to do this again next year in 2025, asanteni sana for keeping us company. We really are grateful, and many thanks to my entire production team, the technical team that serves us to make sure that we execute this program so well. These are gentlemen and ladies who are true credit to this profession. I'm talking about the daughter of Murang'a County, that is Cecilia Masharia. I'm talking about Lynn Nyambura, Ryan Canchuel, Jadiel Kabiro, George Obondo, Evan Sokinyi, Lavenda Kavaji, Eunice Wangare, Maureen Gare.
Yeah,
all these are individuals who really helped us make the program what it is today.
Okay.
And we say asante sana to them.
Yes, I also thank them very much because anytime I come here, I just get out of this place more inspired. Even when I have home, I said I must come. Yeah, I thank them. And I invite them next year. We have a get-together. Yeah, I like the get-togethers.
That is very nice of you and very gracious of you. And also Ella Muhinda, who is missing today, but she's been constant on serving you tea on this channel and making sure you feeling comfortable.
Ella has gone home?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Say hi to all of them and wish them Happy New Year. 2025 is likely to be better.
Amen.
Yep.
All right, asanteni sana. The people of Cherangani, we now can safely release your son so that he comes and be with you down there. Let me head over to Moist Bridge. Also, the people of Moist Bridge are waiting for me. Asanteni sana.
Yeah.